Okay, today we're going to talk to you about hidden damage claims through your insurance company. And this is this is becoming a hot topic because in the state of Washington, we've got pretty good case precedents over the past couple of years that has allowed this or allowed insurance companies to pay for hidden damage that you find on your building. And while it's in Washington currently, several other surrounding states are referencing the Washington case law, particularly in the federal court jurisdictions. And many of these insurance companies are nationwide, so they fall into that federal court, and we're seeing this gain a little bit of traction. But basically, here's what this is. And so here's some examples of some hidden damage. You get, here's before pictures. Yeah, we see a little staining and things like that. But when we open up the siding, wow, look at all this damage to the beams and needed to be shored. Lots of plywood, lots of water damage here. Pretty new building. Here's what it looked like until we pulled off the siding. You can see the studs and the rim joists, and the OSB was just peeling off. Another example of, everybody's seen buildings like this, and until you pull the siding off and realize your framing is severely water damaged. This is what we're referring to as what is hidden damage. I maintained my building, I cleaned it, I painted it, I did all that stuff, and when I opened it up, I was significantly surprised. And so it's usually water intrusion related. So here's the steps of a hidden damage insurance claim. One, determine if you have it. And here's how we do that. We have to pull the siding off to find it and find how much there is. And so that's called an invasive building inspection by a consultant or an architect or somebody like J2. And so when we find this damage, we say, you have, a bigger problem than we thought. Let's take a look at your current and past insurance policies to see if you have potential coverage for this. And there's a few attorneys that really specialize in this, and they have committed to us saying, hey, send us your clients. We'll take a look at their policies for free for them and see if they have, restrictions or exclusions on that, or see if there's potential for a claim. And then once you find out that you might have that coverage, we will do a different type of analysis or report that basically looks back at weather damage patterns, and we're looking for wind-driven rain events. And so after a certain mile per hour of wind and a certain amount of precipitation, we can start saying these are a series of storm events that occurred over a period of time. And here's your policies that cover back over that period of time. And let's talk to the insurance company about getting some coverage for this water intrusion that actually caused damage. And then we'll take our findings, we'll develop a scope of repair, we'll send that out to a contractor to help us get pricing. And that will turn into step 5, saying, insurance company, here's how much it costs to fix it. They may also want to or have to. There is some law that says the insurance company has an obligation to investigate. And so they will send out our counterparts, their experts, and they will do a second round of testing just to make sure that the damage is truly there and try to determine what could have caused it. And so there's that process to go through. So the takeaways here, just approach this with care and experience. There are lots of steps along the way, and if done improperly, any one of those steps will result in denial or no coverage. And so there's specialized attorneys that specialize in this. The expert reporting and analysis needs to be done in a specific way. There's specific timelines that have to be followed. And of course, if you don't follow any of that, there's no coverage. So, and then just our last bullet there, be aware of the naysayer. This is a fairly new, it's 2 or 3 years old. It's a fairly new thing. And there's lots of people that say that that'll never happen, or that could never happen. Or I've worked in the insurance biz, and those don't get processed. And so anyway, let the specialists help you with that. And it's, again, designed around hidden damage, and it has to, your policy has to be a specific policy that doesn't exclude it. And the review on your policies is free. So why wouldn't you? You have been paying the premiums over the years, and if you have potential coverage, get it covered. So another way to explain this process is kind of FAQs. Here's the like 5 or 6 questions that we routinely get. And so the biggest one is, we've known about this damage for years, and we've tried to kind of, Band-Aid it together for a long time. Can we still have coverage on it? And typically the answer is no. Once you know about it, you typically have 1 year to make a claim regarding the delay. Some might be a little bit different, but that 1 year is a good line. Make sure you follow that. And this is where don't delay. So we have obviously clients and communities that are arguing about it, struggling with it, doing whatever, and they come back to us after 14 months and say, okay, now we're ready to pursue that claim. And unfortunately, their 12-month clock has run its course and they're out of time. And so the other thing is, since we've known about it for years, if you can see it or you have knowledge about it, it's not hidden, right? So that's one of the big takeaways. So next question, we found and repaired the damage on a particular building a few years ago. Does that mean all the buildings in the complex will be excluded? Not necessarily. We have seen several cases where, in this instance, we found damage on building 14, but buildings 1 through 13 were part of the claim because we didn't know about it. We had no reason to believe that they were damaged. So, but again, that's where the specialized experience comes into play. And so next question, I don't want anything to do with lawyers. I don't like lawsuits. I've been through construction defect lawsuits before, and they take 3 years. And no, this is an insurance claim. So it's just like a fire or a tree strike, and it will be adjusted and settled in a similar time period. So they get settlement a lot faster, and they have less litigation. It's not litigation, it's a claim. So there's not depositions. Usually there's not trial. So it's a claim process versus a lawsuit process. The insurance company is already denied, so it's not worth pursuing this. Well, that's okay if they've denied. It may put them in a more difficult position, but it's something to review and be aware of. We just need to look at it a little bit deeper, and that's why your specialist attorney will be able to help you with that. The insurance company says this damage was caused by excluded items like construction defect or improper maintenance or something. Well, that's okay. Again, that has to do with their denial. They are going to try to deny based on excluded items, but that's where this specialized experience again comes in from lawyers and experts. Will my insurance policy cancel me or raise my rates? Well, maybe. They do that as a normal part of business anyway, but oftentimes the claim itself is against older policies from the past that might be different from your current policy. So it's something to look into, and it's something to make a business decision on. It's never our advice to make a $1,000 claim and risk being, have your rates go up. But if you're looking at a 7-figure claim, that becomes a different story. Is it 100 cents on the dollar for the payout value? Well, typically not, but some to a lot is better than nothing. And that's especially if you've paid the premiums for coverage over the years, you might as well take a look at that. We've seen several clients in the 7-figure settlement amounts. And so it's certainly worth your time to at least explore. So thanks for watching. The takeaway is If you have hidden damage, you find it underneath your siding, it's not the end of the world. Maybe check your insurance policies, even those people will be saying, no, that type of thing isn't covered. Don't bother. Just check, look, you might find some surprising coverage that'll help you pay for these repairs. So there's my contact information. Reach out if you have questions. Thank you.